Before I start talking about how a political candidate is like a brand, I want to talk a little bit about what makes a brand unique. At its heart, a brand is not trying to get you to click on an ad and buy something online. A brand is trying to sell you an idea. They want to translate the brand's values to the customer, and they do want to initiate an action, but usually that action is offline and very much delayed from the point of impression. To do this, a brand really needs to understand who their customer is, who's going to be the user or the consumer of their product or service, and they need to make sure that they are creating a message that resonates, oh, I went ahead too many, that resonates with that customer, and then they need to make sure the message reaches that customer. Now, they need to understand the values not only of the brand itself, what does the brand stand for, what does it mean, but the values of the customer and how those values are shared. Because shared values is the primary way for a brand to create a relationship with its customer, to motivate its customer. And they do need to create the correct messaging, and they do need to make sure that messaging reaches the right customer. So I'm going to use an example here of Tide detergent, where they've created 3 values groupings for the customers of their detergent. And there is the luxury, self-image grouping, there's a family, trust, safety grouping, and there's a grouping around activity and ease of use. And in this case, Tide has created 3 very different sets of messages around the values of these customers. And they're essentially all detergent, but the values of the customer are what really matters. So now I'm going to talk about why a political candidate is like a brand. So at its heart, a political candidate is also trying to sell an idea. A political candidate is not trying to get the customer to click and buy something online. They're trying to gain trust and understanding from the voter. And of course, like a brand, they do want to motivate an action, but that action is very much offline and very much delayed. It's to vote. Now, it's important when a political candidate is speaking to its customer that they speak to what the customer really cares about. Grouping people into 2 groups is not enough. You can't say conservative and liberal, and all conservatives believe one thing, all liberals believe another. It's simply not true. A lot of conservatives care a lot about the environment, and a lot of liberals really are concerned about government spending. And it's a truism that political elections are won in the middle ground, that the swing voter is really where the election is won. And swing voters in particular can't be demographically sliced like that. You really need to understand what they care about.